Hello there, I'm Gabriel, and today I'm going to be teaching you everything about lookalike audiences. This is super important information if you want to start scaling your Shopify dropshipping store or e-commerce store. So make sure you pay close attention, like this video, subscribe, and let's get started. Now we're going to go to the scaling process. So what happens if I start testing my interest from the beginning? I'm doing my retargeting, and now it's time to start scaling. The way to do it is with lookalike audiences. So what are lookalike audiences? Basically, you tell Facebook to find people that look like your cold audience, or people that already purchased, or people that already watched your video to a certain time, or people that visited your website, etc. So this is super crucial because you already have the data to tell Facebook whatever you want to do. So here at this point, you don't have to use interest targeting. You only use lookalike audiences to start scaling your store. So how do you do this process? You go to your ads manager, click all tools, go to audiences. Inside audiences, you will find your store here, and you're going to create an audience called lookalike audience. From here, you're going to reference the initial audience that you created. So the order for this, let's say we created for our retargeting audience, we created an audience called video views for 95%. So what we're going to do, we're going to create a lookalike audience that reference that audience. So what we do here, we click here and then we select the audience that we created. For this case is the audience that we created today, 95% video views. We select that one. The location, we're going to put the T4 countries, or if you're specifically selling to the United States, you can put United States. Let's put United States. So now the system will look for people inside the US that look like the people that watch our ad initially. You don't have to do the single interest targeting now. The system is doing everything for you. This is when you already bought the data. So when is the right time to do this? When you already passed at least 1,000 people that already watch your video, that's the right time to do it. You can apply this method for any step of the funnel. For example, the 95% video view is the easiest for you at the moment, but then you can start creating lookalike audiences for any step. So you can do content views, for example. That's another one that you can do. Add to carts, checkouts initiated, or purchases. So as long as you are receiving more than 1,000 people on each one of them, you can create an audience and then create a lookalike audience based on that. So keep that in mind, because when you are scaling, that's the time that you start creating your lookalike audiences, optimizing for that specific behavior. So as long as you pass the 1,000 people, you are good to go. So let's get on and work with our 95% video views for lookalike audiences. So we select the US, and then we're going to do 5 types, okay? We're going to do 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and 4 to 5. So we're telling Facebook to find people within these parameters. So we have 5 new audiences, and we're going to do the same. So it's going to be a 1%, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. Okay? So we're going to create the audience. And it's going to start populating. It's going to take some time, but you can start working on it. So first you will see it here. You see the name, the lookalike audience, and then the audience we're referencing, which is this one right here. So we're referencing this one, okay? So now that we have our audiences ready for our 95% video views, we are ready to create our campaigns. This is the time when you start scaling your store. When you were doing your cold ads with single interest, you might be breaking even, or you might be just having some profit. But at this point, you will have quality data that you can use and reference to start getting your profit to different levels, okay? So let's start doing the scaling process. After you have your audiences, go to create. Now we're going to do conversions campaigns. Not as retargeting, we were doing reach, but for this we're doing conversion because still we have a large amount of people, even though it's a lookalike audience, but we still need to find people that are most likely to buy. So now let's create our first lookalike campaign. So we're going to go to create. We're going to pick conversions. For the name, at this point, let's say the best day for this, if we started our campaign the 10th, we're running our retargeting, we're going to have our data coming in. Let's say we can start running our lookalike campaigns the 15th, okay? So we set up the 15th to start running the 16th. So we put the 16th. We put 04, 16. LLA, and we put 95% video views, okay? And the budget here we'll do is a CBO campaign, okay? Because we're going to be testing 5 different sections from that lookalike audience. 1%, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, etc. So we want Facebook to optimize to the best performing lookalike audience, okay? That's why we turn on the CBO and we put the budget on top of our ad sets, okay? So the same parameter that we were using, let's say our product cost is $30 times 3 is $90 per ad set, okay? We're doing this times 5 ad sets, $450 per campaign, okay? We put daily budget 450 and we are ready to go on the campaign level, okay? So we have a conversion campaign, our name, and we have $450. Then we click continue, and the name will be LLA, or we can even put it simple, 1%. We put 1%, we optimize for purchase, we optimize for purchase, and the audience, we're gonna pick our lookalike for 1%. We are going to delete this one and uncheck the detailed targeting expansion. We're not touching any of this. We're letting Facebook know that it's up to them to start finding people that look like the people that almost finished the video ad, okay? So we do manual placements, same thing. Only Facebook newsfeed. Okay. Only Facebook newsfeed. And the start date should be the 16th at 12 midnight. And we don't worry about the end because we're going to uncheck that feature. So we have a 1%, optimizing for purchase, LLA 1%. We don't touch any of this. We uncheck the detailed targeting expansion, manual placements to Facebook newsfeed. And the date, it should be the 16th We continue. So remember, from this process, the lookalike audience, let's say we started to run our ads the 10th of April. We are collecting data during this first week, and then by the 16th, we already have at least 1,000 people that watch our ad, at least 95%. And then we can reference that data. If you have 1,000 people on your content views or checkouts initiated, even payment processes or even purchases, that would be excellent. But the first one you're gonna get is the 95% video views lookalike. So work with that after about 5 weeks. Keep in mind that the first week you might be breaking even or having just a little bit of profit, maybe a little bit of loss. But at this point, you should be already optimizing for lookalike audiences and start that scaling process for your ads, okay? So after we have your ad set ready, we're going to reference our ad as we did last time. We do use existing post. We select a post from our Facebook page. For this case, we're going to select the best performing post, okay? Because we're already at this point, we'll know what works, what doesn't. So you've been adding new ad sets every day, and you've been looking at your data, at your metrics, and you know what thumbnails are better, what videos are working better. So at this point, you will select the best performing videos, the ones that are selling the most. So let's say that for this, sadly, we're gonna use this one. I'll recommend use the 3 best performing ones, okay? So let's say this is one of them, and we do the CTA learn more, sending them to the product page, not to the home page, to the product page. And then we use that. As you can see, we have the social proof from the people that already watched the ad. So that's why we always want to reference that best performing post, because we have the comments, the likes, the shares, and everything that we need, okay? So here at this point, we're going to save our ad. As always, we confirm. So now that we have our ad in review, let's say we are today, let's say it's the 15th, we have it ready to go. It's in review. Sometimes they take 24 hours to approve, okay? So what we're going to do now is duplicate our ad set 4 times because we want to reference our other lookalike audiences. So we duplicate. So what we're going to do is uncheck the date as always, because we want to be in control of the end date, okay? So we publish. Now that we uncheck our end date, we're going to duplicate our ad twice because we want to pick the other 2 best performing ads. Let's say B2. We change the post. Let's say this one is the other one that's best performing. Just a way of example. We click publish. Make sure you put your CTA and your link. And then we do the B3. Let's say the other one that's best performing, let's say this one. We continue, we publish. So now that we have our best performing ads from our 1 week of testing single interest, we're going to do our other 4 ad sets of lookalike audiences. So we duplicate 4 times. So the next one will be 1 to 2%. We search, and we have 1 to 2% here, and we delete the one that's 1%. We publish. Okay, now that's published. We're going to do our 2 to 3%. We edit. We put 2 to 3%. Two to 3%, and then we post. Then we do 3 to 4%. We post. And finally, we do the 4 to 5%. So we have it here, 4 to 5%. So we are good to go. So to recap, we have one conversion campaign with a CBO, which is campaign budget optimization. What that means is that we're managing the budget in the campaign level and not the ad set level, okay? We're doing $450 a day. So that means Facebook is gonna optimize to the best performing of the ad sets, okay? Let's say that the 1% is the one selling the most units. That means they're gonna put most of the budget to the 1%. If they see that the 3 to 4% is gonna start selling more, they're gonna place the budget to the 3 to 4%. So everything is gonna be controlled by the system, and you won't have to be on top of the ad that often. That's when you optimize and you actually start the scaling process, okay? So you have 5 ad sets. Each one of them is a bracket from the lookalike audience that we created from the 95% video views, okay? Remember, you can create lookalike audiences for any step of the funnel: content views, checkouts initiated, purchases, etc., okay? Another tip from here that I forgot to tell you, you can go in it, you can edit, and you can exclude people that already purchased your product, okay? Let's say that we created from the audience section right here. You can do a custom audience, and inside the custom audience, you can pick purchases, and the system will collect all the data of people that purchase from your website, okay? Then you create the audience called purchases, and then in the exclude section, you will add in this section people that purchase your product, okay? So you click, let's say this one says purchases, and then you click this one, and then you publish, and then you are going to make sure that everyone that purchased your product won't see the ad again. So you don't have to spend money on them because they're already bought and they most likely won't repeat the purchase. And you already have the email and you can get them through other ways. You don't have to spend Facebook ad money to find people that already purchased. So it's super important that you exclude the people that are already purchased, okay? So that's a summary of the scaling process. So each one of the brackets have the 3 best performing ads, the ads that generated more sales for your store. So you pick them, you study, those are ads that had the best thumbnail, the most compelling video, and then you just use them to scale your store. You should always be testing new ads, ad creative, photos and videos to see what works. And you can always, now that you have the data, you can start testing your creatives with lookalike audiences. Instead of just doing single interest, you have the data, you can test new videos, new photos with new campaigns, okay? As long as you're receiving sales daily, you're good to go because you are covering the ad spend cost. So that's why in the beginning I told you it's super easy to get to a point of spending $5,000 a day, because if your store is moving and you are scaling the store little by little, whatever you spend, you're already selling more than that. So the idea here is that you have the store running, and that's the scaling process, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Now you know how to do lookalike audiences the right way for your Shopify dropshipping store or e-commerce. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video for more content like this. Take care.